welcome to the early edition of Made Up of Wires. You know that if you're a subscriber on Twitch or have donated on any platform, send me an email at madeupofwires.tv. I'll send you some stickers if you want them. It's going to be a quick show today, quick stream, other things to do. So let's get into it. We're decompiling Castlevania Symphony of the Night. You can go to soten.z.dev to learn more about decompiling Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Feel free to chat, ask questions. If there's something you want to see or know about the game or decompiling, I'm happy to talk about it. Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't, but I will struggle my way through anything. So we've been working on the Richter boss fight. I did just submit a PR for adding those graphs here, so we'll see that. I haven't been submitting these, like I mentioned, I haven't been submitting these back. So those graphs won't be updating yet, but once the graphs are up, I'll be more incentivized to make them look good. And so maybe I will. Hey, Dizik, good to have you. So, one thing that I did submit a PR for was defaulting the builds to build everything. So when we run make, it'll run all three decompiled versions, builds for all three decompiled versions of the game. We talked about that a couple weeks ago and how that was working. Basically, we used make. That got converted to Ninja a couple months ago. But versions of the game were still distinct in our Ninja build. And so I went through and first found conflicts that we had. So when assets and other things get generated, we were using the same paths. So yeah, sorry. Didn't turn down the music. There we go. So different versions of the game, like mem cards, I think is one of those, where different versions of the game use different mem card assets, which makes sense. The PSP has different looking memory cards from the PlayStation, so that might be a thing. I haven't looked specifically. I just know that the files are different. So we needed to make sure that those, when assets did differ, that they got written to a different place. There's a couple ways you could have gone about that. I chose one direction. I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's the way my mind thinks of things, which isn't always the way everybody else thinks of them. I wanted all the assets that were the same to be built from the same files. We could have just namespaced everything based on the version of the game, and then every version of the game would have its own distinct set of files. But I kind of like the idea that if a particular sprite is used everywhere, that there's exactly one file to build that sprite across all versions of the game. I thought that was kind of a cool I don't know what attribute of how we were building. So when we had things like that, make sure that there are not multiple nodes in the build graph that are going to try to build the same files. So basically deduping a bunch of stuff in the build scripts, and now we can build everything together. And actually, I'm gonna this hasn't been merged yet. It's out for PR, like I mentioned. It's actually in draft, so people can talk about it before we decide what we want to do. But I think I'm gonna rebase my the 06 branch, Richter branch on this change, and use this going forward. So let's get that branch out. And let's rebase. And we'll build, and this should, initially it will rebuild everything, and that's okay. These builds will take a little longer when they're fresh builds, but I'm really trying to get our build system to be, I always want to do this, but as optimal as possible. Build as little as needs to be built to still get a reliable build. And then we'll go through and we'll look for what to do next. And there it goes, still building. That's good. We have a BO6 and FBO6 in there. But we get a couple warnings. I looked at these a couple weeks ago. Used at with set no at, and I'm not exactly sure why the compiler generates these instructions. So the at register is reserved for specific use by the compiler. And so if you're embedding assembly into your C code and using the GCC tools, basically GCC says at is off limits. We're going to use that for what we want to use it for. So stay away. And so that's where that warning comes from. The problem is the code that's being generated is not coming from assembly. It's just C code. And that C code is generating code with the at register and causing these warnings. And the best I can find, normally for GCC, you can clear warnings with the W flag or W option. W no, in this case, it would be no at, or no at, yeah. But the error is coming from the linker, and I don't know. I think by the time it gets here, is LD flags? I don't remember. I guess it would be coming from the assembler, right? I don't know. It's a mess. I tried turning it off multiple ways. So the best way I found actually was to inject assembly into this particular function around the area that is generating that, which does set the set no at option. And it's not worth it, I think. It just added noise. So we either get noise in the code or noise in the build. What are you going to do? The other ones I tried to, I think I have a PR out for these as well. I need to go back and see what's going on with that PR. We have multiple clamps. I don't think we need the one that's in sys, and I'm not sure why we have it, but they work the same. They compile to the same thing. Let's find something. This says we have 141. I actually thought we only had. I'm going to. What should I do? I'm gonna get rid of our assembly. Touch the config. And make again. This will just clear out all the non-matchings that are there, yeah. So 105 left. I'm gonna go by size this time. We'll dig into this one. I'm probably not gonna be able to finish this today, but as long as it's not a dupe, we will get working on it. I'm having problems with my. This is not what I want. Where's dupes? Just saw it and then it went away. There's dupes. Oh, this is not. I'm having problems with plugging my computer into my monitors. Ooh, Tamastep. That sounds fun. Have we seen Tamastep before? Tama, I've looked this up. We have seen Tamastep. Tama is the romanization of the Japanese word. Oh yeah, that's right. Jewel or ball. So this looks like it's going to have to do with Shaft's orb, probably. And let me make sure that I haven't started this one before. Make sure that I'm not a robot. Can't decide. Come on, Cloudflare. Trust me. Not worked on this yet. This does not seem right. Okay, let's try again. Refresh this new page. There we go. So a somewhat long-ish switch. Looks like the only thing that's preventing this from compiling is that question mark. 60%. A lot of variables. I am gonna let's see if there's anything that's worth decompiling for. So we have this block 36 and block 34. I'm not sure why this happens. We could look at what this looks like down here. So this is a jump to 7B0. And then up above at 357. So 36 and 34 I expected to be in the same place. It's 36 and 37. That's what I want to look at. So here on line 151. Was it a voice activated switch? It is. It can be voice activated if you say the right yo dingus. But it's also motion activated, which usually is what I want. But the lights in this room flicker on the camera that I use, so I keep them off. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm looking for why block 37, and this is mostly, I'm curious why, not for any particular thing. So this is jumping to 290. It's using a standard jump instruction. But then down below, like on line, or line 370, we're also jumping to 290. And we have a branch that goes to 290. Maybe that's... No, they're both going to block 36. So I have no idea why this happens sometimes, that M2C decides to put two different labels on the same thing. So just kind of an odd compiler thing. This default case that everything is jumping to is actually going to be outside of the switch. And so we need to look at every case in the switch and make sure it either returns or jumps. And if it jumps to block 34, we don't care about that yet. Destroy entity as return, that's fine. Block 36 can be a break now. This block 36 can be a break. What did I break? Why is it not happy with this? Oh, I'm outside of the function. So what I want to just make sure of is that nothing does break. Because we should be... This is one that I changed specifically. So I think this is fine. And we were rewarded with more matching. Looking at the diff, that looks a lot better in general. There aren't big gaps of code missing, which is nice. So I think that's fine. Some of these may or may not be in GRIC or otherwise. Let's look at that quickly. This is 6, 9. Let's see, so this is not going to be in GRIC. And this is not either. So I think we're safe from those. This will be an array. And this is probably an array as well. It's an init. It seems like something I should put in. Init is already a reference type. All right, so the rest of these are pretty easy. Not a lot of globals in this one. See if I can get this done in, or if there's going to be some crazy complication. I have 36 minutes. Pressure's on. I did notice, this is not really here or there. I didn't watch the video. Dragon Blitz is in my subscription list. And I haven't been watching a lot of his streams lately, or the VODs, but one of the thumbnails had like a time bomb with 15 minutes on it, and it made me think that, I don't know if this is what the randomizer setting is, but it made me think that would be an awesome randomizer setting to basically force a time into the game, and at the end of the time, either you're maybe you're poisoned, don't directly kill you, but maybe something that severely hinders your progress. All right, so I'm gonna go. I think the main things are done. I'm gonna start working on variables. I think we have So we do have a shaft orb entity extension. I don't have it saved in the context. I'll have to go find it. It probably is valuable for this. Let me fix the GAPI references. Before I do that, though, I'm going to, I think, work on variables. So looking here down on 69, there is a hit flags. Oh, it's this var S4 getting set to 0. Worth looking at that. It's like some Boolean. Not gonna look at that yet. I'm gonna go for the obvious one. So we're gonna do a prim index for temp fee 0. Eventually we'll need a primitive pointer as well, so we'll create one of those. And look at where these are being used. Some of these are probably not going to make a big deal, but since I know they need to be done, I might as well do them. This var S1_2, this is going to be our I, so we need an I. So will var S1. Or it's not used anywhere except for the counter. See if there's anything in here that is worth changing. The order of this order is strange. So what is ultimately happening is the addition is being optimized. Let me modify this to be I as well, and maybe that's enough to change how this gets optimized. So we need to make sure var S1 is not being used anywhere. It's not. Sometimes it's, you know what a section is going to be, but until you get all the surrounding stuff done as well, it doesn't compile the way that you expect it to. var v1 is something. I'm going to move the... It's possible that this is being incremented in line here. I'm not a huge fan of that syntax, but it's used occasionally. All right, so that ordering seems correct. Now I think that this var v1 probably is being set in line as well. And again, I don't like the comma syntax in the for loop. But if it works, it works. In this case, it's not working, but that's okay. It's the Z priority may be getting pulled up into a separate variable. I'm not sure yet, and I'm not gonna stress over it. We'll just keep going until all the easy stuff is done. So again, a bunch of entity extension stuff. I'm gonna kind of follow along down here and just see if anything is out of order or obviously out of order. This seems like it would be set along with these other things, but possibly not. Oh, where's our 6? Somewhere in here is a offset 6, sorry. Let's find that. Pos y, yeah, I'd expect pos y to be up by pos x. That's correct. So step is usually pretty low. It looks like though step may be getting set higher. Those are 8 and 19. These I can draw flags is usually pretty low as well. These you can spend a lot of time kind of goofing around with, but when we have the PSP version available, it's better to just grab them from there. Yeah, so there's one more, at least one more out of order assignment there. Hey, guess 73. Good to have you. Thank you. Where are you? Oh, up here. Yep. So that's gonna be -2, right? Always good to remember. Oh, what might be happening here, and this happens frequently. Wasn't even thinking about it. GCC will so it's going to compile this as a pointer and increment this pointer. How it was probably originally written was using the index into this array and not actually having a pointer to it, and then hoping GCC is going to compile it the way that you expect it to. So it's still out of order, which may indicate that the Richter priority, and again, PSP will give us the best hints for that, along with the ordering down here. So I'm going to leave those alone as well, and we'll come back to that in a bit. When possible, I like to do the increment operator. Just my preference. Block 34 is increment operator and then a break, and so we'll go through and change any of those that we find. I think that was the only one. The order for these looks backwards. Or is the increment happening first? Subscripted value. I screwed up somewhere early on. Oh, yes, it is. It's an array. Did that fix, it looks like it fixed Z priority. So yeah, that was the correct thing. I missed that it wasn't compiling. Oops. That happens. 250, I missed this warning too. 250. This is going to be the same thing. So var 1 is going to be index I. So we have to come all the way down. We're going to make a for loop. And this time our I looks like it is, I'm going to guess it's this one way up here. Var is 4 maybe? I think so. Are we? No. SP38? Yeah, that's weird. So SP38 is our I. And there. Where? Oh, this. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Vars1 underscore 3. That is our I. And that's where it's being set to 0. Less than 8 in this case. This Vars 7 seems to just be a flag, like one loop was done. There's nothing that breaks out of this loop though, so it seems kind of nonsensical. It's almost like this. And so it's possible that this is just a optimization. Oh, and what did I break? I broke a whole bunch of stuff up on 250, not even paying attention. Need a semicolon. There we go. Closer or further? A little closer. All right, so we have a bunch of position X related calculations that we're about to do. As long as we're not reassigning to temp T1, which it doesn't look like we are, then SP10 is the same. So I think SP10 can be temp T1, so let's do that. The major thing is the type. Temp T1 I'm going to rename to pos X or offset X. I'll call it pos X for now. And my guess is that we're going to have a pos Y that works similarly, and SP18 looks like it becomes the stack version of that, so that's fine too. So SP18 is going to become temp T2. And we'll have to do the same thing here. There's a temp T underscore 2, which is, this is our I. I'm gonna before this gets too complicated, I'm gonna get rid of temp T2_2 and SP38, which are the I for this loop. And then we'll get back to those positions. That was I less than 3. And nothing was using temp T2, SP38. It's also not used. Weird that that got pushed to the stack. All right, now we can get back to temp T2. Just making sure that these are all that same X or Y value. This will become pos Y. Usually pos X and pos Y are retrieved around the same place. Let's go down here and look. 247. It doesn't always compile that way. So where are we loading the T6? In this case, it's actually loaded quite a bit later. We might be doing some of the other math. Let's try to get some of these together. RA1 is, I think that's going to be indexed as well. I'm not actually going to this, so we'll do the same thing there. And then we don't need that. Okay, it's closer. It's closer. All right, so then we have this like temp T0, temp A3. These are the coordinates in the quad, and they're pulled out of the loop. But my guess is that they're actually done in the loop, but because they're constant, they're not constant expressions. They're not compile time constants. They won't change though during the execution of these lines. Yeah, Dizik, I completely agree. Dizik said those 4 variables look like min pos x and y and max pos x and y. Completely agree. And they're being calculated here. So this is the coordinates of the quad for this primitive. And my guess is that they're in line here. But the optimizer comes in and says pos x is a constant, or const, we'll say. It's not an immediate value, but a const value. And so the result of these expressions is also const. And so we don't have to do that every time we're going to do the loop. We can throw it in a register and then reuse that value. So I think that, I'm pretty sure that's what's happening there. We'll try that in a second. Let me clean up this line. This setting every single color field to one value, like we've seen this a couple times in Richter, the Richter boss. I haven't seen this otherwise. This ordering is just odd. Usually it's RGB0, R0, G0, B0, R1, G1, B1. Putting it all the R's, all the G's, all the B's. That's different. Not quite the same. Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be. The ordering is just odd. We do have macros for the R0, G0, B0 case, but not this other case. Same thing here. Like this is basically the same thing. This temp v0. We're assigning these all together in that same order. And in this case, the macro would kind of break. I guess you could have your macro just be the assignment of all of these, and then you could choose whether or not you want to add, you know, chain on an additional assignment there. That all works out nicely. Not moving the needle much. Actually, let's do the, we could tag on the plus equals down here. FC, that's gonna be -4, right? Minus equals 4. And this is then falling out of order. I'm a little surprised about, but it looks like this wants to be done early. And it wants to be done before this condition. Weird. Usually that ordering doesn't matter because, again, like nothing. Oh, duh. It's checked right there. I have to do that. I can't not do that. This draw mode, I won't do it. Our linter will come through. This is the inverse, or the oh, what am I trying to say? Inverting the bits, a bit flipped version of whatever the draw mode 2 and 1 flags are together, and our linter will come through and identify that and use the tilde operator on the or of those two values. There's just 2. No, it'd be -1 and -2. Okay, so am I happy with this? Nothing else is using these. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that not only might this be inlined here like this, and these variables get to go away. We're getting worse. We might get worse before we get better. And I think it's because of ordering. So now we're the same. My guess is that these are actually just referenced directly. Maybe not. Just a guess. That's worse. Oh, I need the pos x and pos y down here later on. So I'm going to keep pos x and pos y out for now. I still think that those might be inline. It's really odd what GCC can like trusts to be alias and what it thinks is not aliased, and that's what basically breaks the cache. If it thinks that one of these assignments, no, it should know that all of these assignments will not affect. No, it doesn't know that actually. It doesn't know where prim is, and prim could overlap self, and so any of these assignments here could possibly be changing the value of pos xi high and pos yi high. And so that will affect whether it hoists this read out or not. Okay, Spring Quetzal, good to have you back. Get to studying. We have another pos x and pos y down here. This looks real. So let's oh, this is Richter now, though, not self. And so we kind of have to go through the same thing. Is this actually a separate variable or not? Is it being read out of this loop or not. It looks like that's probably true. So we'll call SP20 Rick pause X, and SP28 we'll call Rick Y. My guess is that these are being done inline. Oh, this is interesting. This kind of breaks the assumption that I had about that for loop. Because var_1 underscore 4 will never be greater than 8. Oh, this is an inner loop. Oh, this is an inner loop. Okay. I'm learning. I'm figuring things out. So let's get that in place. So we need a J. So up above we had a for loop. This is first one, 24. So we have 32 primitives altogether. This looks like this loop up here is going through the first 8 primitives, and then this one is going through the remaining 24 primitives. So for each set of 8 primitives, we're always going to start at pos X, and then recalculate X1. So I'm going to look at the Richter fight with the shaft orbs. Let's see what this looks like. This looks like it's so we're basing our position largely on Richter, which the orb is, and I wonder if there's 24 of these like particles in the trail. We have the lightning too. When does the lightning? Oh, they're just randomly we get some lightning. And I think we figured out one of the earlier entities was those were those particles that fell out. So where was my scratch? It was the 3E8 one. I lost. Well, this might be. I have 2 minutes left. I lost it. And so maybe I won't get it back. Actually, we could go here. Hopefully I saved recently. Yeah, it should be called DE20. But it's gone. See if we can get it this way. I might have lost some work, but that's okay. I only have 2 minutes left anyway. Did I lose all that work? Possibly. That seems too far back. But that's it. We'll go through and we'll clean that up tomorrow. We've been decompiling parts of Richter. Trying to get that. Looks like parts of that shaft orb done. The comment at the top of this file is Tama step. Tama is orb in Japanese. So I think that's what we're working on. And we'll be back tomorrow. Go to soten.z.dev to learn more about the Symphony of the Night decompilation project. And check out a bunch of the other creators doing cool stuff for Symphony of the Night. Mozilla shows up often. Eldritch. Really appreciate everybody. Project Oblivion, Zianimo, Sozu D, Biz Murphy, who have helped me get to this point. And Zianimo for setting up the project. That's it. Adios. See you tomorrow.